China's de-dollarization is underway, and the implications could be more staggering than you ever imagined. This comprehensive series takes a deep dive into this economic game-changer. Explore what de-dollarization truly means, why China is steadfastly pushing this agenda, and the formidable obstacles that lie in its path. But the ripples of this strategy go far beyond China's borders. Unearth the wide-reaching impact on the global financial landscape, and how this monumental shift could send shockwaves through the US economy. With consequences touching everyone from major investors to everyday consumers, the understanding of this strategy is not just beneficial, it's essential in our globally intertwined financial world. To fully understand the implication of China's de-dollarization strategy, it's essential to grasp what the term de-dollarization means. The US dollar, often referred to as the greenback, holds a unique position in the world economy. It's the primary global reserve currency, meaning that central banks across the world hold significant quantities of US dollars as part of their foreign exchange reserves. It's also the dominant currency for international trade and investment. However, de-dollarization refers to the process where a country reduces its dependency on the US dollar. This reduction can happen at different levels. Domestically, where the country encourages the use of its own currency over the US dollar, and internationally, where it promotes the use of its currency for global transactions and as a reserve currency. Why would a country want to de-dollarize? There are several reasons, but the main one often revolves around sovereignty. Heavy reliance on another country's currency can expose a nation to certain risks, such as fluctuations in the value of that currency or policy changes in the currency issuing country. It could also impinge on a country's ability to control its own monetary policy. So that's what de-dollarization is, in a nutshell. Now, let's look at how and why China is embarking on this path. It's no secret that China has been making concerted efforts to internationalize its currency, the renminbi, or RMB, also known as the yuan. These efforts are part of a broader strategy to reduce its dependency on the US dollar, strengthen its own financial system, and extend its global influence. There are several reasons why China is pursuing de-dollarization. Firstly, as the second largest economy in the world, China naturally wants to increase the international standing and use of its currency. This desire aligns with the country's broader ambition of playing a more central role in global finance. Secondly, China's de-dollarization strategy is a response to the perceived vulnerability that comes with excessive dependence on the US dollar. The US, being the issuer of the world's primary reserve currency, enjoys what's often referred to as exorbitant privilege. It can effectively export its inflation to other countries and influence global markets through its monetary policy. In periods of tension, it can also use its control over dollar-based transactions to exert economic pressure on other countries, as we've seen with economic sanctions. By reducing its reliance on the US dollar, China aims to mitigate these risks. Lastly, promoting the yuan as a global currency could offer China significant economic advantages. It would reduce transaction costs for Chinese companies, provide the Chinese government with more control over monetary policy, and potentially even allow China to gain some of the exorbitant privilege currently enjoyed by the US. However, de-dollarization is not a simple process, and China's push to make the yuan a key global currency faces numerous challenges. China's pursuit of de-dollarization, the gradual transition from the US dollar to the yuan as the currency of choice in global transactions, is an ambitious endeavor marked by significant obstacles. Foremost among these is the entrenched dominance of the US dollar, which draws its strength from the vastness, liquidity, and perceived stability of the US financial markets. China, on the other hand, is grappling with the still developing state of its own financial markets. International investors are often skeptical due to concerns about the transparency and predictability of China's economic policies, regulatory environment, and legal framework. These issues, in turn, limit the yuan's global acceptance. The existence of China's capital controls also presents a considerable barrier. For the yuan to rise as a global currency, it's necessary for China to liberalize its financial system and allow free movement of capital across its borders. However, such moves could expose the country to financial volatility and risk, a prospect the Chinese government has been cautious about. Despite these challenges, if China succeeds in elevating the yuan to the status of a global reserve currency, it would present a double-edged sword. While it could grant China greater control over its economy and amplify its global influence, it could also render China's economy more susceptible to external shocks and market speculations. Yet various factors are pushing China towards this complex journey of de-dollarization. The need to shield its economy from potential instabilities in the US financial system, as underscored by the 2008 financial crisis, is a prime motivator. In addition, de-dollarization aligns with China's larger ambition of expanding its influence in the global economy, with benefits like reducing borrowing costs and enhanced policy autonomy. China's effort to promote the yuan also stems from ongoing geopolitical tensions with the US. The latter has frequently leveraged the power of the dollar's dominance to exert economic pressure through sanctions. By encouraging the use of the yuan, China can potentially diminish the impact of such sanctions. Innovative approaches like the development of the digital yuan, or ECNY, by the People's Bank of China further bolster the de-dollarization efforts. This digital currency provides a modern, efficient, and secure payment system that could promote the yuan's internationalization, while giving China a competitive edge in the race towards a digital global currency. Moreover, China's Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, a vast project aimed at promoting regional cooperation and connectivity, supports the global use of the yuan. Through the BRI, China is making substantial investments in infrastructure projects across Asia, Africa, and Europe, mostly dominated in the yuan, thereby enhancing its economic influence. China's path to de-dollarization thus represents a convergence of factors, from concerns about financial stability to geopolitical strategies, technological advancements, and ambitious international development endeavors. Despite the journey's complexity, the global financial landscape continues to evolve, and as China grows and wields its influence, the progress of de-dollarization is a topic that demands our attention. Stay tuned as we delve into the potential ramifications of this shift on global economies, including the US, in our next discussion. China's de-dollarization strategy has far-reaching implications that extend beyond its borders. If successful, it could fundamentally alter the dynamics of the global financial system. For other countries, especially those involved in trade with China, they might find it beneficial or even necessary to hold larger amounts of yuan reserves. This could lead to a diversification of global foreign exchange reserves, with the yuan gaining a larger share at the expense of the US dollar and other major currencies. For global businesses, this might mean adjusting their financial operations to deal with a more prominent role of the yuan in international trade and investment. They might need to manage new types of financial risk associated with fluctuations in the value of the yuan. And for individual investors and consumers, a shift in the global currency landscape could affect the value of their investments and the cost of imported goods and services. If China's de-dollarization efforts progress, it could hold significant implications for the US economy. These implications are vast and complex, and they revolve around a variety of factors, from the national debt to international trade dynamics. So let's dive in. At the heart of the discussion is the role of the US dollar as the world's dominant reserve currency. This unique status affords the US several benefits, often referred to as exorbitant privilege. The US can borrow money at lower costs, and its businesses can conduct international transactions in their domestic currency, minimizing exchange risk. However, if the yuan were to gain significant traction as a global reserve currency, the US could see some of this exorbitant privilege diminish. The increased demand for yuan might result in decreased demand for US dollars, potentially leading to a weaker dollar. This could in turn increase the cost of imports and contribute to inflationary pressures within the US economy. On a larger scale, a decrease in demand for US dollars could also increase borrowing costs for the US government. Currently, the US enjoys low interest rates on its national debt, because foreign countries are willing to buy US Treasury bonds as a safe dollar-dominated investment. If demand for these bonds decreases due to a shift towards yuan-dominated assets, the US might need to offer higher interest rates to attract buyers. This could increase the cost of servicing the US national debt, putting further pressure on the country's fiscal situation. But anyway, do let us know what you think. Thanks for watching.